Summer, the sights, the sounds, and the smells. Yes, we all know the smells aren't always so pleasant, but many men have a complicated relationship with cologne. Some guys won't ever wear it, others douse it on, but there is a happy medium. So here with a man's guide to wearing cologne is WSJ reporter Ray Smith. Ray, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So men's fragrances are on the uptick, right? That the market is growing. So does this mean that men are more comfortable wearing a scent?
Yes, that does mean that fragrances have been, for men, outperforming women's fragrance sales in terms of the better channels like department stores. And a part of it is the rise of men's grooming. The push has worked, and men's interest in fashion, and that extends to trying to smell good.
Absolutely. Let's talk about sweat for a moment here, because men sweat on average 2 to 3 times more than women. Is that right?
That's right.
But there are 2 kinds of sweat, correct? One is the smelly kind and one is the clean kind?
That's right. There's one study that shows that the smelly kind of sweat, that men do produce a little bit more than women, but the sample is so small, it's like not very statistically significant.
Right.
But there are sweat glands that men need to be aware of, and they are the ones that produce the odor, and that's what you want the fragrance to mask.
Right, so putting a little carefully placed fragrance over certain areas can help, correct?
Yes,
And
yes.
where are those areas that men should concentrate on?
One of the areas is right under the breast.
Okay.
The other is the groin area, basically. But also, men should be careful to spray on the neck, around the chest, but not go overboard on the chest. One person told me that actually the back of the head with the hair is a good place because the hair will hold on to some of the oil from the fragrance.
And what about clothes? Can you spray your clothes?
That's a really good question. Several people told me it's a good idea to spray your clothes, and for several reasons. One, it holds on to the fragrance a lot longer because it evaporates on your skin faster. It also won't destroy your clothes. I think people are afraid that if they spray it, it might sort of stain.
And it must make your closet smell great too, right? So now we know where we're supposed to put it on: hair, back of neck, clothes. How do we know how much to put on? Because that's the tricky part, right?
That's the very tricky part. And the general rule of thumb is less is more. You'll be surprised at how much fragrance carries. So I think men feel tempted they don't have as much experience as women in the art of how much to put on, and so they're tempted to overspray or overdouse. The other thing is to just be mindful of if we're sort of at the distance that we are, you shouldn't be able to smell my fragrance.
Where should I be able to smell it, Ray? Do I need to get it this
If you're
close?
closer, exactly.
Okay,
if you're much closer. And also
You smell lovely, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. But I'm glad you brought that up, because if somebody makes a comment to you like, what do you have on? Or, gee, you smell good today, that might not be a compliment.
Good thing?
It might be that you have on too much.
Really? Okay.
So that should trigger something that maybe I have put too much on.
And another thing to keep in mind, you say, is seasonal fragrances. That's very important. In the summer, you'll wear a different scent than you might in the winter.
That's right. That's a really good tip. And I don't think a lot of men know this, that actually the fragrance that have notes like that are citrusy or evoke the ocean or the Mediterranean are lighter. And so they're not as heavy especially during the summer when it's humid. And so you might want to gravitate to either a fragrance that has those attributes or literally a bottle that has summer in the name.
Right. So lighter, citrusy, maybe even a little floral, perhaps.
A little floral.
A little floral. Sport in the name.
Sport in the name. Something that says aqua in the name, or conveys aqua and marine or Mediterranean.
All great tips. I love a sweet smelling guy. Who doesn't, right, Ray? Thank you so much for that.